Democracy is not something that you can define easily. It is a contested concept itself. So, but if we assume it in its procedural aspect, the democracy is a way of collecting all opinions by ordinary people one by one, by the citizens, as electors one by one, through a process of open competition that requires other kinds of freedom, like the right to free speech, the right to freedom of associations, and the right to have the ability of organizing ourselves into groups, into parties, into movements, so that we can have not only the right to vote, but also after the election or before the elections, the right to have a voice and to be able to influence the system through our indirect presence. So these two, I call them a diarchy, I call democracy a diarchy. Diarchy means two authorities. One is the procedures, elections, majority vote, and so on and so forth. The other one is the opinion-making process outside of the institutions. So the two should stay together in a difficult equilibrium. One is the criticism of democracy from the point of view of competence, because, you know, we are ordinary people deciding by voting, and votes derive from any kind of part of the population, more or less competent. Competence is completely irrelevant for the distribution of the right to vote. The second one is populistic, meaning populism is an attempt to recreate the unity of the people, or the ordinary people against the few, the elite, the rich people, claiming that the pluralism of political parties that parliamentary democracy creates, it's a way of dividing the people, and thus making it impossible to follow or to pursue politics that are on the side of the people. So there is an attempt to re-achieve politics from the few to the many, whereas the many are the large many, meaning all the ordinary people. The third one, it's a disfiguration of the democratic aspect, electoral, party-based democracy from the point of view of the public, which is not like a political actor, but is a judge, like in a tribunal, big I, so-called, that claims to be able to control the leaders or the rulers simply by watching them and imposing on them their exposition to the public. So the public is a viewer without an entity or materiality of existence. It is simply a perception that we are to be watched by the people, or not the people, the public. And this public, it's an attempt to transform politics into an aesthetic game by the few, whereas the many disappear because citizenship becomes irrelevant. What is important is exactly this big I, with the illusion that this can be more controllable, more able to control than the institutions. But this creates indeed a democracy of the plebiscites, meaning the public becomes the actor of a plebiscitary kind of politics, so that the leaders are those who are more in love with the people, with the public, and the public with them. So this kind of aesthetical transformation of democracy.